Alleluia, 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 alleluia. Whoever loves me will keep my word, and my Father will love him, and we will come to him. Alleluia, alleluia, alleluia. The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke. Jesus said to the apostles, "Who among you would say to your servant who has just come in from plowing or tending sheep in the field, 'Come here immediately and take your place at table'? Would he not rather say to him, 'Prepare something for me to eat. Put on your apron and wait on me while I eat and drink. You may eat and drink when I am finished'? Is he grateful to that servant because he did what was commanded? So should it be with you. When you have done all you have been commanded, say, 'We are unprofitable servants. We have done what we were obliged to do.'" The Gospel of the Lord. Urge the younger men similarly to control themselves, showing yourself as a model of good deeds in every respect, so that the opponent will be put to shame without anything bad to say about us. I was reflecting on this morning, and I was reminded of one of my favorite books that I have ever read, and it is a book all about communists. It's a book called Dedication and Leadership. And basically, it was written by a man who was very high up in the British Communist Party back in the early 20th century, right, when communism was spreading like wildfire all throughout the world. And eventually, he became a Catholic. And he basically gave talks to a number of bishops throughout the world. And the whole objective of the talks was to just explain the basic problem, is that as Christians and as Catholics, we have the fullness of truth, we have the graces of the sacraments, we have the beauty of the faith, and communism is full of empty and false ideologies that are anti-human, that are untrue, right, that result in great tyranny. And yet somehow, over the course of the 20th century, the communism was spreading all over the world, right? And why was that? And that was the whole point of these talks. Someday, I've always dreamed that one day I'm going to make that like our book to read during Lent, right? Reading all about the communists or something like that. But it's a great book. And one of the things that he says in there is that the reason why the communists are so successful is because they are so committed, right? They basically treat communism as another religion. And their religion is built up against traditional forms of religion, especially Christianity. But they see themselves as basically saviors of the world. They don't want to spread communism purely for political reasons. They truly believe that it is the greatest vision of the world and of humanity. And that if it is practiced, right, it will liberate humanity. And so they give themselves with great self-sacrifice to this communist religion. So for example, when they are first entered into the party, right, immediately half of their income would automatically go to the party. Now, we as Catholics, we think tithing is a big deal. Imagine half of your income, right, was what they were required when they became a member of the Communist Party. Also, when you became a communist, right, and you wanted to spread the good news of communism, right, the communists didn't say, go to a seminary or go to classes. They immediately put you out on the street corners, and you had to sell communist newspapers, because they knew that when you did that, people would be critical of what you had to say, and you would immediately have a desire to learn how to defend your faith in communism. Right? Kind of the complete opposite of what we do as Catholics. Another thing that was really inspiring in that book is the communists, basically their whole day was oriented towards spreading, right, the gospel of communism. They had a phrase. They said, every communist is a leader, every factory is a stronghold. And what they meant by that was that every communist is a leader wherever he is. So in his neighborhood, in his workplace, and every factory is a stronghold. What they meant by that was that with the other communists you work with, right? They would meet every morning before work and every evening after work, basically to talk about how the day went and how they furthered the cause of communism. When they would be at work, when they would have breaks, for example, they would plant communist newspapers in the break rooms, right? They tried to find opportunities all throughout the day to bring up communism. And in their neighborhoods and in their factories, they tried to be the utmost respected people wherever they were, right? They wanted to be known as the most caring, the kindest, the ones who were most self-sacrificial, the one who worked the hardest. Right? Everything about their life was oriented towards furthering the cause of communism. And because of that, they were able to bring so many converts in, because people were inspired by the way that they lived, and they wanted to be a part of this mission. Right? That's very interesting, right? Because ideally, that's exactly how all of us should be living. Right? Always seeking to find ways to spread our cause, which truly is the salvation of the world, which truly is the good news. But so many of us as Catholics, right, we don't have that same activism that the communists had, that same dedication and desire for leadership and to bring others into our fold. And I do think there's some practical things that we could learn from this. Right? All of us should be thinking about every day, right? A huge part of our prayer should be praying about the people who we work with and interact with. What are the opportunities we have to spread the faith to them, to show unnatural kindness to them, to listen to them when they are deeply in need, right? So that they will see us as somebody who they respect, someone they can count on, they can lean on. And try to find little subtle ways, right, to bring up the faith. I think there's a lot that we could learn from those communists. Right? About how to put our opponents to shame because they have nothing bad to say about us, but only inspiration.